Hey there, scholars. This is Mrs. Bowers. Please pardon my appearance. Today is Wacky Wednesday, where we could wear the wackiest outfit that we own. So, of course, I had to rock my tutu, my rainbow socks, my unicorn hat. Of course, you know me. So today we multiplied fractions in math. Now this is a little bit different than the multiplication that we've been doing with fractions because in the past couple of weeks we've been multiplying fractions with a whole number. Now we're multiplying two fractions together. But have no fear because you are going to love it. You guys are so great when it comes to multiplying, and you're getting so much better at simplifying fractions as well. I have no fear that you're going to absolutely love multiplying fractions. So I gave you an example of 2/3 times 4/8. First thing you notice, Mrs. Bowers, these denominators are not the same. But when it comes to multiplying fractions, that's okay. You don't have to make equivalent fractions. Shh. Don't tell anybody else that I told you that it's a top secret. So, first step, multiply the numerators. 2 times 4 is 8. Your next step, multiply the denominators. 3 times 8 is 24. There's your answer. Pretty simple, huh? But because we are 5th graders and we're really sophisticated mathematicians, I'm going to ask that you put this fraction into its simplest form. Well, Mrs. Bowers, can you remind me how to do that work? Of course. The first step when it comes to simplifying a fraction is to list all the factors of both of the numerator and denominator. So I'm going to list all my factors of 24 and all my factors of 8. I know 1 times 8 is 8. I know 2 times 4 is 8. I know 1 times 24 is 24. I know 2 times 12 is 24. I know 3 times 8 is 24. I know 4 times 6 is 24. Now, I'm going to look for the greatest common factor. What number do both of these lists have in common? That's the biggest of them all. So there's a 1 and a 1, a 2 and a 2, a 4 and a 4, oh, and an 8 and an 8. 8 is the biggest. So 8 is the greatest common factor. Now that I know the greatest common factor, I'm going to divide the numerator and denominator by 8. You guys know 8 divided by 8 is 1, and 24 divided by 8 is 3. So our answer in simplest form is 1/3. How do you feel? Let me give you one more example, just so you really feel confident in what you're doing with your homework tonight. All right, let's try this one together, okay? Let us do 1/2 times 5/10. The first step, multiply your numerators. Remember, when it comes to multiplying, you don't have to worry about making equivalent fractions with the same common denominator. Shh, don't tell anybody that I told you that. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 10 is 20. There's our answer. But because we are 5th grade sophisticated mathematicians, I challenge you to put this fraction into its simplest form. How do you do that, you ask? Let me remind you. List all the factors of the numerator and the denominator. I know 1 times 5 is 5. Those are the only whole number factors of 5. 20. I know 1 times 20 is 20. I know 2 times 10 is 20. I know 4 times 5 is 20. I'm going to look at both of these lists and ask, what is the biggest number both these lists have in common? A 1 and a 1. A 5 and a 5. 5 is the greatest number they both have in common. Now that I have my greatest common factor, I'm going to divide it by the numerator and the denominator. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 20 divided by 5 is 4. So our answer in its simplest form is 1/4. Now go off, be wonderful, amazing scholars, and I'll see you all tomorrow.